Welcome to this week's First Impressions video. Today we're taking a look at the brand new Pro Basketball Manager 2025, which releases on the 18th of November 2024. We of course have covered many of these games before, ranging all the way back to 2021. I'm very happy to report that the changes, whilst few, are very impactful and make the playing experience much better overall. It's a shame that they didn't really change much of the graphics around, some of the styling, but overall the quality of life updates and the updates that they've made to the background play to make this so much better is very welcome. As always, we'll go through each of the settings, we'll go through each of the compartments of a game, seeing what they've added to new, and then have a look at the actual match settings and the way that they play out when you go to play a single game. Your settings menu is largely unchanged. They haven't changed the styling, they haven't changed any of the colors. They have kept pretty much all of the settings that you would expect, and it runs fairly well. I've had no issues at all, but obviously I'm using a much higher spec machine. And honestly, the type of game that this is, there's not really a lot to go through and to change. So you've got your language, you've got your windowed mode, you've got your currency, your height unit, your weight. They do have stones, by the way. You've got the do not play music when launching the game. You've got your maximum skill value. You've got the display team names, home and away or away and home. Display of odds, simplified trades, volume, and volume. So your volume sounds and menus and volume music. Date format and display financial summary pop-up. What I will say is that the volume sound in menus is switched to full, and the do not play music when launching game is not checked. I think that it should either be at 50, the same as the volume music, or this should be checked automatically for you to uncheck. It's kind of a bugbear when you start a game and the music blasts you to death. Your games, you've got your quality of graphics. That's literally all it is. Again, the graphics aren't super high quality. They're sort of like a sped up rendition. It doesn't need to be high quality. The guts of this game is text-based. Our animations on billboards activated. Volume sound effects, again, they are quite high. Quality of the fans high. Quality of the stands is set to normal. I don't know why they don't have a higher quality for that, but there you go. Highlight the play with the ball. This is still awful. It's nice to see the player, but I wish they'd have expanded on it, maybe giving you a different color to choose from. Maybe making it so you could make the player's highlight just a bit thinner, because it is quite a thick bar that goes around the player. It's nice that they've got it there, but I feel like some customization would be nice. And then the effects on the ball as well, so you can see the trajectory and stuff that it works. Then you got your shortcuts, which is just your mouse and everything, which is fine. I don't generally use them. So it's not a bad settings menu. It's, again, virtually unchanged from last year. It would have been nice to see some quality of life and maybe just a different aesthetic, to be honest. Starting a new career is exactly the same as last year. It's honestly very lazy in my opinion. Again, no changes. It's just your first name, last name, gender, date of birth, and your nationality, your skin color, haircut color, beard, haircut color, everything. It's all the same. There is no difference here. What would have been nice is maybe a different suit outfit or just something. You've got your jack of all trades, you've got your tactician, you've got your manager, and you've got your tutor. They're, again, all the same stats. Nothing has changed from last year in this. It's honestly the most disappointing part of the game. And then you've got your teams. Now, I honestly feel like there's actually less teams this year than last year if you select England. I could be wrong, I haven't checked, but it definitely feels like it's very light on the ground. Now, I understand the UK, especially in England, does not have a great basketball scene, but I'm fairly sure there are probably more teams than what is on display here. And it also means that if you do want to play locally, you really can't, but they have a wide range. And obviously if you want to go for large variety of different teams, then probably going USA is going to be your best shot. However, it is disappointing to see that they only have the one American league. Honestly, from clicking on most of these, you only get the one league anyway, so I don't quite understand why it's got a drop-down menu. It seems a bit silly to have a drop-down menu if you don't have other leagues. Now, this could be because they are very keen for modders to come in and do some stuff. If you're going to put the functionality for a drop-down menu in, give us more teams. I don't know if this is due to licensing or what, but it is a little bit disappointing to constantly see just the one league available when I'm fairly sure there are probably many leagues actually active in the world right now. Once you've chosen your team, we'll choose London because why not? We'll continue, and then you get to choose your national team, which is fine. We'll always go UK, that's fine. And then we'll continue. Playable leagues, you've got United Kingdom, British League One, Sport Simulation. You've got your staff management. You can have it as manual or automatic. I always leave it on manual because I like screwing up my teams on my own. Thank you. And then you make a new career. And that is it. That is your career progress and creating it. And honestly, it is very disappointing for how similar and how much has not been touched with this. You should always be striving for more, in my opinion. When you load into the game, you're greeted with the exact same screen that you get in 2024. It really does feel very low effort when you load into a game and it is virtually exactly the same as it was the previous year. I will say that there are some differences. It's up to you to decide whether those differences are enough for you to warrant paying for a full new game. Honestly, it is a little bit disappointing that they didn't put a little bit more effort into changing the look and the feel of the game for this iteration. It especially hits hard if you look at my last video on FS25, just how large and vast the difference is, especially in graphical appearance, that there are between 2021 and 2025. However, this is a yearly released game, so maybe you can cut it a bit of slack there. As always, you've got your dashboard, you've got your messages, you've got your world, which is just where you can look for players and stuff. You've got your actual players in your squad, your tactics screen, training regimen, your schedule, your finances, your facilities, which is a new screen, your staff, your recruitment center. Then you've got your national team as well. One thing I will say is that it seems to be quite slow at loading. It seems to perform much worse under strain when you're trying to do stuff than the old game. Like, the old game seemed to perform just much smoother. Some of the things that have changed with this are your world. So the filters they've added in when you are looking for players are much better. So you can just click the plus here, and you've got all of these filters that you can choose from. And what's different between this one and the last one is that you can add more, and they are much more focused and zoned in, which makes looking for certain players, especially in the recruitment center, so much easier. It is such a nice change that have leapt from last series. You got your teams as well. You got your competitions. And you've got your persons. So this is in the world. This is everybody that's available. If you want to actually look for someone, though, you go down to your recruitment center, and again, you add the filters that you want. What I will say is the team list seems a little bit small. If I go down to nationality here and select English, you'll notice that there are only 2. There are only 2. They are free agents, which is good. So it means that I can try and recruit them. But there is only 2. And before, when I was playing, there was none at all. Whilst the filters are great and they're definitely going to help me, especially for positions that I want to change in my team and my tactics, it looks like it's going to be quite hard to adhere to the rules. Because if I remember from last year, you could only have a certain amount of foreign people in your team. You needed English or English Canadian or English American, etc., to be able to qualify for most of the matches. If your team pool is that small and there are not that many free players, then you're going to need the transfer market to open, and absolutely pray that you're able to get something to come up. The other big change, as you saw, was the facilities. This is really nice, although I feel it's also taking away a bit from the actual management side of the basketball. They seem to have put more effort into this than any of the other UI, and I don't quite understand why. So as you can see, you've got your arena, you can level them all up, you can add bars, you can add public transportation. This is all going to make it so that people want to come and actually watch your games, and that's going to make you some money. It's also going to cost you some money for the youth academy, etc. It's a nice feature. I just wish that they'd have focused more on this side of it than this side. Again, your training, your finances, everything is exactly the same as last time. Your staff, again, you can look for people and you can add in your own filters. And again, there are lots and lots of filters that you can choose from. Obviously a lot less than the others because you're not looking for somebody that's going to play on the court. This is honestly the best thing. The filter so far is the best thing that I've seen in this page. When starting a new game, you're taken to this page once again. Again, exactly the same as last time. Nothing here is different. Shows you your score, shows you how many you conceded, shows you who you're playing against, who you lost against, etc. Then you can go to your tactics, and you can start here with your go-to guy, your formation if you wanted to go for 4 out, 4 in. You can just leave it, or you can do your assistant coach and let him do what he wants to do. And you can change your filters here as well, so you can go first team or under 21s. Again, exactly the same as the last time. Then you hit start game. Again, the loading times are not great on this game. Even the camera animations are exactly the same. It just feels a little bit disappointing here. Everything is the same. Literally everything. From the stand looks, from the look of the court, from the player models, nothing has been improved here. And it just feels like a copy and paste. It genuinely feels like 2024 with a couple of mods. And that is a shame. Now, obviously, you can come here and you can change all of your players' skills. And you can change, how they want to go. If you want to go to tight or smoother, etc. You can do all of this. They have added some different options for this. So instead of just being shots, you've got your on-ball pressure, off-ball pressure, on-ball screen, off-ball screen, and your hedge. So they have added more options to this bit, which is good. And it's not the only change they've made. A lot of the change seems to be under the surface, under the hood. And that change comes in the form of how your players react. When I played this before, it very much felt like no matter what I did, didn't change anything. It wouldn't change how they played. It wouldn't play. It felt like I was doomed to win or lose from the start. It didn't matter what I did. This time round, however, any changes I make seem to make an effect. I'm able to see the difference of what I'm doing. So if I want to change my tactics, for example, and I want to change the shot repetition and the tempo, you see that happen in game, which is really, really nice and something that you didn't see before. The games were also much, much tighter. I played a game earlier and it genuinely felt like I had a chance of winning the entire time. I still lost, but that's because I was messing with some of the settings and wasn't playing properly. But it felt like if I actually sat down and took the time to try and win, I would still try. I would probably come out on top. It felt like I actually had a chance of playing the game and having a modicum of success, which I didn't get in the last game. And honestly, that alone, that one change, should have probably been fixed in 24 and then had new features added for 25. So far, the only things that I've really seen that are different in this version are the filters, the playstyle changes, and the fact that what I change actually has an effect in game. And then obviously you've got your land and the arena build up and all the levels of that. Sponsors are a nice add-on, but honestly, as much as I like the game and as much as I think I would prefer playing this one, I don't think they've done enough to warrant a new game. It feels like a copy-paste. Nothing feels really different outside of the game style. But please do let me know in those comments down below if you agree or disagree with my findings. I would love to know your thoughts. I would love to know if you think that this warrants a new game, because I don't feel I can recommend it as a result, because it just feels like what 2024 should have been, and that is a working, fair game. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Ciao, ciao.